Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Awake 2021 off of Netflix. Let's get into it. So this is the new drop off of Netflix films, and it's a about like kind of like got a bird. It said where the bird box meets something else. Forgot what the other thing it said it meets, but it's kind of got that feel where whatever took place and you couldn't see anything with the bird box. Now, what this is exactly what the title says: awake. Everybody um, in the world can't fall asleep, and of course, what they're saying, if you can't fall asleep, uh, you become disoriented, hallucination, hysteria. You know what I'm saying? So people been up for days. And so it starts off with let's go over the cast. You got Gina Rodriguez, she's the lead as Jill, Ariana Greenblatt as Matilda, Adams, Shamir Anderson as Dodge, Lucius Hoyos as Noah. Noah and Matilda are brother and sister. Jill is the mom of Matilda and Noah. Finn Jones from Iron Fist. He got a cameo appearance, brief. And Barry Pepper and Frances Fisher, she plays as the grandma. So what's taking place is starts off with Jill. She works at a university as a security guard, campus security, and it shows her in campus security, and she's sneaking in the lab where they make pills or whatever, and of course, the pills that don't come out um, that they can distribute, they throw them away, and so she goes through the canister of the throwaway pills and takes them, and then she sells them on the street for money. So it just shows her making her little sale what she's been doing. Now she's on her way to pick up um, her kids. She did an overnight shift, and you find out that the kids are being raised by their grandfather. I mean, should I say grandfather? Grandmother on their father's side. Their father passed away in war, and Jill was in war too, and she got into some issues, and the person she got linked to helped her get the job at the security university, gave her the cosign to get the job. And so the grandma's been raising them. The son is detached from Jill. He calls her Jill, and it's like some love lost there with her not raising him pretty much. And then you have Matilda, of course, she's the youngest, and uh, she's just going along. Now, what happens in the world, it just instantly, out of nowhere, something happens. And people just instantly, the power and cars went out, and a police car came and hit their vehicle. Jill, Noah, and Matilda hit their vehicle in the water. And right before it happened, Matilda kind of like dozed off in a sense. And after their car got hit in the water, the car started to sink. Now, the mom, they released Matilda out. The mom and the brother were struggling to get out the car. They eventually got out, and when they looked, Matilda was already on the shore or whatever, getting CPR. And so they brought her back to life. Now, chaos started to happen in the town. People start getting delirious and start going crazy off what they was experimenting because they couldn't fall asleep. So that night, she ended up staying with the kids and a grandmom, and she pretty much, Matilda went to sleep, but none of them could fall asleep. And so she said she had to go to work. She went off to work, and they started looking at the stars, and they said the sun was looking like It's shooting stars, and she was like, no, that's satellites dropping out the sky. So she went on to work, and she rode her bike to work, and you could start seeing the chaos. And she ran into the person that she sold the drugs to, and he pretty much was like, hey man, I need all the drugs you can get. People who are trying to find anything that can help them get to sleep. Now when she went back to the school, she went and got a whole big bag full of the throwaway drugs. When she came in, the army was showing up with the lead person of like that was full psychology, and they caught her in the act of taking the pills, and she was pretty much. They were like, "Well, we don't even care," and so this is where Finn Jones' character come in, and he's pretty much explaining like, "Yo, people can't fall asleep," breaking it down in 24 hours and 48 hours. Then eventually, if you can't get no sleep, your heart give out and then you die. You know what I'm saying? But before all that, people get distorted, and if you know, which is fact. If you ever notice when you know sleepy or a person sleepy, they start talking crazy, or you don't know what they're talking about, or you know what I'm saying, they need to recharge. You know what I'm saying? The brain stops thinking after a while or whatever. So she made mention that they said, well, we're on our way to this hub. They gave her the address, and the doctor woman was telling her to come with her, but she said I couldn't leave my. It was like she needed her because she knew she was ex-military, and she was like, "Ken, I gotta get my kids." And she made mention that her daughter was asleep when she left, and they was like, "Well, we got a woman at the hub that they gonna have to run tests on her to see why she's able to sleep." And Um, they was like, "You sure your daughter was asleep?" And she was like, "Yeah." She said, "Well, either it's two things that happen. Either someone's dead, or they up. No one's sleeping." And so then that triggered her, like, I gotta get home to see what's up with my daughter, what she actually did. And so when she went back home, the daughter was going with the grandma to the church, and then Jill jumped in, and Jill grabbed her son, told her like, we gotta get out of here. And of course uh, Finn Jones, he showed up and pretty much was like, hey, we need to get your daughter to this hub so we can figure out what's going on. So they went on to the church, and now the church people were delirious, and Matilda asleep. So they like, we need to sacrifice Matilda, give a sacrifice. So people was tripping. They had a cop there, townspeople, and they was tripping, wanting to kill Matilda. The grandma was trying to basically tell them like, no, this you can't kill my granddaughter. And so Jill shows up with Noah and Finn Jones, and he's telling them pretty much like, yo, if we don't get her to a hub, you all gonna go crazy, and we all gonna die. So the cop ended up shooting him, blowing his brain out or whatever, and Matilda ran off, and the pastor was trying to keep the people to keep the faith, but they were going off, and they end up chaos. And then of course Matilda and the mom, they slipped out. They basically said, we got to get to the hub. The brother was like, we need to get to the hub. The mom was like, nah, because I don't trust them. They might got some stuff going on there. But she was like, pretty much, we all gonna die. Matilda gonna be left out here by herself. So we pretty much need to. That's the only option we have. So they're making their way there. They steal a car, and when they steal a car, they end up running to a library, and she pretty much trying to teach Matilda like, if we all die, you out here on your own, you need to be able to protect yourself. Take this gun and learn how to use this gun. You're gonna have to get to the library, read books, so you can learn how to do things, and that's what they was in the library for. But you also see there was a prison nearby, so the prison people are walking loose, and of course you got the crazies out there, and this is where the character Dodge come in, because he pretty much was already like living off of like 3 hours of sleep a day. And so he pretty much jumped in the car that they had left in the car running, with the daughter out in a car, and the prison people uh, started coming around Jill and Noah, and they wanted to harm them. He pulled up in the car, pretty much said, "Mom, get in," and they got in. So they didn't know whether to trust them or not. Now they need this cipher gas, and they made it along their way, and they made it to where the hub is, and she asked Dodge pretty much like, "Let us out here, be on your way." And so she told her son Noah and Matilda to stay back. She gonna go do recon and see what it's at and make sure it's safe or whatever. So she goes there and she slips in, and she kept looking at numbers and then writing them down to make sure her mind was still sharp. And so she got a passcode pretty much on how to get into the hub, and she put on a doctor's jacket, and they thought maybe she was a doctor. So with the people at the hub, they made like a little serum that you can inject in your neck, and pretty much if you inject it in your neck, it slows down your hysteria and everything. And so she gets in there, and she meets with the lady, and the lady is an older woman, and she's sickly, and they pretty much was like, she was like, I'm gonna help you get out of here, but I need you to take care of my daughter, And she was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, you just as crazy as all them. How much blood they gonna be able to take out of me? They can't keep taking blood out of me, or whatever. And then she said, I should have been dead a long time ago. And so you see what they, you get to find out later what they were doing. They kept reviving her to keep her alive, and but she really couldn't help them. So right then and there, Jill knew it was time for her to get out of there, so she bounced. And by the time, but she's going through her, she's weak, she ain't had no sleep, and she kind of just sat down for a little bit to collect her thoughts. And you see Dodge pull up with the son and a little girl, and pretty much say, hey, we can help you, whatever. So I don't know, they never really show why he was supposed to be on his way and how he convinced them to go and show up at this hub with the military. But when they did that, Matilda came out and said, I can help you, I can sleep. So they took Matilda, and they pretty much tested her by giving her oxygen. Now they had a chimpanzee in there that they was testing and tried to put him to sleep, but he wouldn't go to sleep. They put her with the oxygen, she went right to sleep, so they knew right in there she was whatchamacallit. So they kept her in there, and the old lady pretty much passed away, and they couldn't revive her. And they wanted to inject the doctor again with the serum, but Matilda knows about needles because her grandma takes needles for her insulin, and so you got to make sure that no air gets into the needle before you inject it, because they could die like that. Now, what took place is, because the doctor is delirious, he's not sharp. So Matilda was trying to tell him, hey, don't do that. You're going to get air in the needle. And then he still injected her, and the doctor died right there and there. And then what happened is the soldiers were nodding off, and then they start going into their delirious mode. So they start killing each other. So it was a big war or battle, gun battle, where the soldiers were just shooting each other, killing each other down and stuff. And Matilda, the brother went, Noah, he went delirious too. So it was an open electric wire. And he was saying, Dad taught me how to do this. And then Matilda was trying to tell him, like, no, you need to stay away from that. He touched it, of course, he's shocked and passed out pretty much. And so she barked, her and the mom was there, and she barked the, 'cause, 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 ' the reviver machine, and it shocked the mom and it shocked Matilda, and they both just passed out. And the brother didn't come back. Now that was at nighttime. Morning time came. The mom was just sitting there delirious, sitting on top of Noah, and Matilda woke up and kept hitting the brother to wake up, wake up. And she was like, "Mom, he's alive. Wake up, wake up." And then finally he came up, and he was revived. And he was just like, "I was dreaming." And so what they figured out that, and then it showed Dodge, and I think Dodge was just sitting there with his eyes open. I don't think he's dead at the moment, but he's on his way. But what it showed is that it clicked that Matilda pretty much asked the brother, "Did I die?" Because I remember my chest was hurting, and what happened is when they went in the water and she died for that moment, and then they did CPR on her, it revived her, and she came back. So they knew at that moment that was the way. It's like a rebirth. If you die and then come back, it restarts your whole life, allows you to go to sleep again. So that's why she was able to go to sleep, because when that incident happened, she had died, and they brought her back with the CPR and everything. So when the brother got shot and they revived him, he pretty much, that was his revival. So what they thought was like, okay, well, that's the trick. We need to do this for mom. And the mom was pretty much on her way out, because like they said, the heart is the last to go. So they took the mom to the lake and pretty much drowned the mom, and then brought her out and started doing CPR on her. And when they did CPR on her, it went off. But before it went off, you heard her gasp for air. So that's how it went off. So I don't know if it's a good, get some good viewership. It might be a part 2, because you'll be able to see if Dodge lives, on how do they do the trick for the whole world to get the whole world back. So it was overall a decent film. Out of my 2 out of 4 rating system, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna say 2 out of 4 rating system. Out of my 4-star rating system, I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 4 stars. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.